In this world, it seems, especially in modern times, there seems like there's just so much pressure to be a success. In fact, this world seems to celebrate success for those who are really young, right? And success according to what the world says is successful, external success in a career, in some sort of monetary goal or talent, some type of fame or exposure. And that is not miraculous, though. Even not to say that perhaps some of the experiences that in maybe certain situations didn't involve miracles, but the idea itself that success is only valid if you're under the age of 25. It's as if there's this pressure to have everything accomplished by a certain age, that you're supposed to reach your fullest point of growth and development before you hit 25 or 30. And that's just not how it works. That's really also particularly a Western idea, maybe even in a modern societal culture of a modern society. When in other cultures, the more you grow older, the more wisdom you obtain, the more you become developed in your skills and your talents. And there are many other cultures that are much older on planet Earth that honor those ideas. And I feel that God feels that way. I feel that God knows at what points in your life you are ready for certain external things to occur, certain expressions of your talents and abilities, whether it's a role in relationships or at maybe a job, maybe a certain talent or art or expression. God knows when we are right for these, when we are ready for these things. And that only can seem apparent to us, I've noticed for me, when we hand our lives over to God. And quite frankly, it took me years to be able to do that. I was a product, maybe not a product, maybe product isn't the right word, but I was for many years dealing with the conditioning of the world, that I had to achieve certain things, that I had to strive and be a go-getter and make sure certain things were happened or checked off my list. We've all heard of the term bucket list and whatnot. And it's not that achieving certain things is bad. I'm not advocating not doing anything. I am advocating, though, for me, which has given me a sense of comfort and a sense of being guided, is taking all these things that the world has trained me to be and trained me to believe that I need to do and I need to be developed by a certain time or age, and hand it over to God. Why is that? Why is it important to allow God to unfold the events of your life? Because God knows. God knows you better than yourself. God knows you better than anyone on planet Earth who's ever claimed they know you or think they know you. I can guarantee you that there is most of the people that think they know you, even the ones that at this time believe, they love you and everything, they don't know you like God does. And they aren't meant to. No one is meant to know you like God does. No system of this world is meant to know you like God does. No rules of this world is meant to know you and know what's best for you like God does. Now, if you're on here and you don't believe in God, that's okay. I certainly can understand that, not believing in God. But I would say that you probably believe in something called love. And the reason I'm really sure that you believe in something called love is because there's probably at least one thing that you can think of right now that you love. And I'm talking about something of meaning. I'm not talking about I love my car or I love my new hairstyle. No, I'm talking about something that really touches your heart. And to me, that is representative of what God is to me. To me, God and love are one and the same. And so I feel that this idea of allowing ourselves to unfold slowly over a lifetime, not according to the world's time, but allowing ourselves to be a late bloomer, I think is really valuable. I think that God actually really loves late bloomers, because if we allow God to handle our lives, you'll probably end up being a late bloomer. If you look at stories in the Bible, many of those characters didn't come into their full assignment with God until they were older, or they'd already gone through a number of trials and tribulations. Not all of them, but many of them didn't go into action until much later in their lives, according to those stories in the Bible. And, I think it's different for everyone. So there's nothing wrong, of course, with achieving things at what seems like a young age. But what I'm saying is there's enormous value. If you're older, if you're past 30, and you are afraid of aging, or you feel like you're washed up, or you feel like you're running out of time, I'm challenging you on that. I'm going to challenge you on time, what you think time is. And that's really metaphysical, okay? That might be a subject for a different video. But today, right now, I want to open up our minds and our hearts to this idea that God loves late bloomers. In fact, I know I'm a late bloomer. I didn't develop everything quickly. I happen to be a singer and a songwriter, a musician and a writer, and it took me years, decades even, to develop these talents and abilities to what they seem to be today. And there was a certain point where God came into my awareness so strongly years ago through revelatory experiences. He made his presence known to me. And from there, it still took a while for me to get to the point where I'm at today with God, where I trust God, where I'm praying like I do now, where I focus on God, trusting in His plan, trusting in His wisdom, trusting in His guidance, and trusting in how everything has unfolded in my life. Even if I don't understand it, even if I might be upset about something that might seem to be happening, no matter what it is, I know that I can always go back to God and realize that God's timing is not the same as humanity's. Not at all. And that I'm actually grateful that I've been given this grace by God to for Him to develop me in the way that He has. Because ultimately, no matter what talent or ability or achievement or goal that I might have, it's meaningless unless it's used for the purposes of God. Unless they are used by the purposes of God, no external attribute means anything. Now, you may have some temporary things that might come of it, whether it's attention or money or external stuff or whatever those things are, but those are fleeting. What we want is something that lasts forever, and that's an internal experience of being used for the purposes of love and upliftment for God. Because all the things of this world, the external things, do not stay. They're not meant to. Because God creates in spirit. What He creates lasts forever. And so I've taken solace in knowing that I might be a late bloomer, and I love it. I love that I'm a late bloomer because it's given me the opportunity to really, really know my own heart and the heart of God and what His intentions are. So feel free to leave a comment and share about this idea of being a late bloomer. Doesn't matter what age you are, because that's where I feel the excitement begins.